Typically we start by discussing Neo. I don't know. I know you had the chance to use the browser. I'm curious if you have anything you want to share at all, anything you liked or disliked.
Yeah, definitely. I think, by the way, first, thanks for sharing Neo to me. Because for me, every day at work, I need a browser. We have been using Chrome for a few years, and there is no real much innovation in this area. And we know that Chrome, there are a lot of, features that misalign with our expectations. So really thankful, yeah, sharing with us. And I also appreciate you make some innovation in this area, especially make some AI native and with advanced technology like privacy to really integrate them into a new browser. Initially, I use it. I feel very exciting, especially browser is something that has high technical details. You need to do a lot of things, right? Because internally you need to deal with a lot of details. It's not that easy. And when I first used it, I was amazed. The first amazed thing that really shocked me is the way that you organize the tabs. Because I recall when I use Chrome, I often open 100 tabs, and sometimes I forget what tab is working, and when I want to open a tab, I need to close all tabs and open a new browser and open that tab because sometimes it freeze just, yeah. Because when I recall my PhD life, I often open 20 papers all at once, but I forgot which paper should I refer to. And each paper takes a lot of RAM. But when I first have the new, I can see you have a very smart way how to organize the tabs. It's very easy for me to play with it. And the other thing I feel a very AI native way is that you can chat with your browser. That is what you are looking at. For example, what is the context in the window? Are you dealing with the email? Are you dealing with web page? And you can even chat it. It's very easy. You can install some Chrome plugin in the Chrome and to do this, but it's not efficient as an AI native way, right? When you have a deep, expertise in the Chrome, in a broader core technology, you know how it will seamlessly work or integrate with the page. That's two very exciting thing. I first use Neo. But definitely there are a lot of way to go. Sometimes when I open a few pages, it kind of freeze a little bit. But I think this you are working in the right direction. I think there is a lot to go in the future. I really expect some more iterations on top of it. Yeah.
So this is just after what, a few minutes of trying this out,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. Yeah,
After
yeah,
you try it for a few hours, you're going to be addicted to it.
yeah, yeah. Hopefully, yeah, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, by the way, Howie, nice to meet you, and thanks for inviting me to this, yeah, very new podcast. Yeah, I do take a look at past few series. It's very exciting. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I also saw a lot of founders I know that got engaged in this, and I also listened to some of their talks. It's also inspired me a lot. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Excel, let's get started. Obviously Neo is the AI native browser. Um,
Hmm.
I would say that's the only safe AI native browser. It's very simple. Even just this week, Gardner published a paper talking about how dangerous AI native browser could be, right? It's
Yeah.
especially, some of the agentic browser. You can kind of ask the agentic browser to do things. What if you check your email, one of the emails to delete the rest of the email, right? The agentic browser needs to be designed right. So that's what we are very proud of. So we designed not just the AI browser but also that's safe. And Anthropic also made some announcements, but the biggest piece of the announcement is not just, oh, we are working with Chrome, but also today agentic stuff, agentic browser is now safe.
Yeah.
So that's kind of that's part of the reason we as a browser company, right, we are not, or team, we are not really sending the message that agentic browser should be used the left and right. We are taking some agentic
Hmm.
functionality into the browser. For instance, we now have the Gmail and the Google Calendar integration. So if you're kind of sort of integrated with that, you can use Magic Box to ask questions regarding your Gmail. But we kind of put a safety first. So anyway, So long story short, AI native browser that's safe, we are pretty proud. And then we think this is actually changing how consumers or how the users interact with the digital space.
Mm-hmm.
Every week, we wanted to invite some AI entrepreneurs or executives or investors or professors come to our Neo show to talk about this, because ultimately we think about Neo to really disrupt how consumer interact with the world, but there is always more than people do and they use beyond just the browser, right? So
Yeah.
we're inviting you, Ethan. You are actually doing an AI startup, helping users to find jobs.
Yeah.
We'll let you to talk about what you do, and then Axel and I will have a bunch of questions, and then we also take live questions from the audience as well.
Okay, that's awesome. Yeah, I can spend a few minutes briefly talk about my background and what I'm doing for now. So I was, machine learning PhD. I have my PhD in University of Hong Kong. In the PhD, I also, have a kind of collaboration of area that I study, for example, database and at that stage called data mining, and maybe a couple of, simple machine learning technology to apply to it. And after my PhD, I went to US and stay here for around 7 to 8 years. In the first 3 years, I stay at Twitter from an individual contributor in the Twitter's ads machine learning team to finally lead a team of 20 covering different pieces of Twitter ads platforms. For example, machine learning training, machine learning serving, ads pacing, pretty much of the backend distributed system. So I grew up very quickly at Twitter, almost got promoted once per year. And later, my childhood dream is definitely to have my own startup, especially when I come to US. I found that there are so diverse culture and people are very, very friendly, especially the entrepreneurship in the Silicon Valley is so good. Yeah, a lot of students even drop out of school to start some very, very big startups, have some their own dreams and realize them. So next, I left Twitter and joined a growing stage startup called Newsbreak. I built a kind of personalized, recommendation engine, which is a kind of second stage of machine learning, end-to-end system with personalization there. So I lead a team of 10, including product managers, data scientists, machine learning engineers, software engineers, etc., to help them to grow to a unicorn with tens of millions of DAU. Our machine learning model is kind of serve them very well to learn their personalization and try to recommend the most appropriate news to them. So after that, I feel, the market is pretty down. After the news break, I even got some offers from Meta with total package 1 million per year. But at that time, there are a few factors coming. The first is, Twitter's layoff. Elon Musk acquired Twitter, and around 70% of people uh, got fired immediately. Previously, Twitter is a team of maybe 7,000 employees in total, but now it's only 1,000. So it's a huge difference. So it's really shocked me. And also, I saw a lot of talents, even the top five university, even Stanford, MIT students cannot find a job. So that motivates me to do something more exciting. So I think if I want to do some entrepreneurship, I want to do it long term. And also at that time, AI is coming. I was a traditional machine learning people. I witnessed the evolvement of machine learning to, we call deep neural networks, and then the currently large language models, and also currently multimodality models. I know how important the evolvement is and how disruptive the technology is. So I think it's seriously for me to think something that apply the most advantage machine learning model and also my experience in machine learning and also productionize the machine learning model into some space that can really benefit the users. So we picked the job seeking space in 2023, in the early of 2023. We have been doing the business called Job Right for around 2.5 years. And initially, we target for the job seekers, especially white-collar job seekers. Most of our user community is software engineer, data scientist, and AI, and also a couple others are product managers, sales, marketing, HR, pretty much on the white collar. So basically, we help them to build tools for them to easier to do job search. For example, we crawl all the real jobs and with some real distributed crawler. And in real time, we also identify the state of the job and build personalized machine learning models to really recommend the appropriate job to them. So they know the appropriate job opportunities, and we help them to, tailor the resumes. We know what is a professional resume is. And, every job seeker is not professional. No one is professional at job seeking because it's low frequency but high value. So they need some very smart tool or some deep tool with headhunter knowledge, or they need some personalized headhunter for them to do smart job seeking. So you even build tool to personalize each job with each tailored resume for them, and also build some autofill to smoothly,
You're
autofill.
saying that
Yeah,
me as a job
yeah,
seeker,
yeah.
it's as if I have a personalized headhunter working for me.
Hmm.
And then what does the headhunter do? Like, grab all the relevant jobs to me and ask me to review it?
Yeah, yeah, that's a good question. For example, when I'm doing job seeking, at that time I know only limited companies. I know only the top 10, maybe very top companies, and only a few startups. Probably I saw very hot in the news. But there are so many tech companies hiring. I think actually more than 50K tech companies are hiring, even hiring some general software engineer, product manager, machine learning roles. But in every job seeker's knowledge, they are very limited, have a very limited understanding of who is hiring and what the company culture is, and what the team is look like, what the leadership team is, what the product the company is doing. For example, for your company, Zheng, I know it's a very big company, but I don't think there are a lot of job seekers know what Zheng is and what Zheng is doing, right? So first we need to know what each company is hiring and the company information we need to present to them with some deep insight. You can see the deep research of the company within, generate the information. I would like to see the company within a few seconds. Yeah, this is what the headhunter is doing. And also kind of let me know what the company product is doing, what the team is look like. If I want to we want to apply for the machine learning role in Gen, I think you need to know what the machine learning, people or profile looks like, what the characteristics of different people, right? What they come from, what they are doing in Jane, etc. Jane has a lot of, engineering blog, and even a lot of people will read what they're working in Jane and share them on LinkedIn and other social platforms like Twitter. If we get the information and piece them together and present in a friendly way, and it's easy for me to understand Jing in a few minutes. So it saved me a lot of, time and to really boost the efficiency to connect me and the employer. Yeah, that's what I mean, the precise headhunter, which the AI and deep machine learning can really bridge the gap. Yeah. Yeah, hopefully I answer your question. Yeah. Yeah.
Very good. Excel, do you have anything to start?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I was wondering if perhaps we can hit some of these questions from the audience, perhaps. So we had one person who was wondering what was the first catalyst that led you to found in 2023 JobRite AI?
Yeah. So basically, you mean what do you mean by the catalyst, the
I,
VC
what
fund?
caused you? What was the reasoning for?
Oh, what the reason? Yeah. As I mentioned earlier, I think there
Since
are.
I know Ethan for a while, you were looking to do an entrepreneur, by the way,
Yeah.
we got to know each other first time when you were towards the end of your Twitter tenure, and then one
Yeah.
of my recruiters sent me your resume, and
Yeah.
that's how we talked for the first time. But anyhow, you always wanted to do you always wanted to be a founder, co-founders.
Uh-huh.
Why doing job right? I think that's the question, right?
Yeah, that's a very good question. When picking the area to do, I think there are around three factors in my mind. The first and foremost important thing is doing something really right. So, when you talk about doing some entrepreneurship, someone will choose the area which is quick and dirty. I don't want to comment for this area, but I want to do something which is fundamentally right. We see a lot of inefficiency in hiring, especially in the white collar. A lot of people will use LinkedIn. LinkedIn is good to use, but still there are some gap between the real usage and your expectations, especially linking in this area for around a couple tons of years. And we interviewed quite a few candidates. They still are seeking for a new platform to really realize their dreams. And also, job seeking is something that I think really fundamentally right. That is the way that we can change people's career to do more exciting things that will boost the productivity for both the employer and the job seeker, and boost the productivity and creativity for the society. So this kind of
Probably you are saying that the old way, or maybe perhaps the existing way of people finding job is not the right way. Of course, people do a lot of the LinkedIn search or there and here and there, but you are saying that that's not the right way. That's too much trouble, too much hassle, and then too much waste of time. And
yeah
there got to be a much better way.
yeah
That's your thesis.
Yeah, definitely. The second thing I point out is that I need to find an area that can apply my deep expertise, especially the AI or large language model. Initially we talk about this and people will challenge me, oh, why LLM is really too high? Because the initial stage of LLM is strongly your reasoning ability, right? To understand very complicated, deep text or deep knowledge. This is strongly correlated to hiring because you have your resume. Your resume is kind of unstructured, piece, just a kind of PDF, and somebody will compile the PDF using some advanced tool like LaTeX, and some just compile using doc. But it's really unstructured. You have your work experience, you have your education, you have a lot of things you want to share. Within one page, you have so many information that you want to share. It's really very complicated. Even what you are doing in this company like Zheng, there are a lot of, deep insight. You can only compile them into 1 to 2 sentences. Yeah, so underlying there are so many information. And also for a company, especially for the job description, most recruiters I would say is not that professional. When we crawl different, job description, they are often in different formats. They are not unified, and also they read everything in the job description, and even a lot of salary information is not correct. They even misread the hour to a year, or misread the year to a month, or etc. A lot of dirty information, I would say, in the job description. So people need some sophisticated or need some unified understanding of what the company is really hiring for, right? And also there are some dark piece of information that is hidden in the job description that maybe some recruiter are not willing to share, or etc. Right? And also, especially the company information. There are so many unstructured company information from your website, from your public, image, especially Twitter, LinkedIn, or Crunchbase, etc. And also a lot of media from Forbes, from other TechCrunch, or etc. Right? So there's so many information related to the company. You need to, crawl this kind of information or have deep understanding of the information to present to them to the user. So that's why I see the very non-standard and complex information that can combine together to be deeply understood by the large language model, which I think is really what I'm good at. So that's the second factor. The third factor, definitely, I want to pick an area that the ceiling is very high. You know, definitely for hiring, the ceiling is so high. LinkedIn, yeah, probably every year there are so many multi-billions of dollars, and in China you have Boss Zhiping, which is currently already 10 billion company. In Australia, they have Seek, which is also a multi-billion company. So the ceiling is so high. Even in the United States, there are, in the top 10 or 20 companies, they earn a very decent revenue, more than 100 million revenue per year. So I think there are so many opportunities. That's the three reasons that why I start job right, to build something correct and to find something that my expertise is, to strongly integrate with large language model. Third, the market size is quite high. Yeah, that's the three reasons that come
The
after.
market
Yeah,
worth disrupting, and then you have something unique to offer to disrupt that market.
yeah, definitely.
Cool. Okay, I think that's I think for everyone on this call at different stage of your life, even if you don't need it now, but I hope this message resonates with everyone on the call.
Yeah.
Cool.
Uh, Hi, Sorry for joining late. I think I missed a little part of the earlier when you talk about the features of JobRite. You said you can get probably like say team information to say the people, the team characteristics, like say all this role. Actually, how do you, maybe this is a more technical question, how do you actually identify that information? Because most likely what you would be able to find is the actual job post. I mean, that post maybe from the company website can also be found in LinkedIn, but you don't know actually which team is hiring for that position. And you probably need to do kind of certain kind of deep search, identify the team, and then who are actually working in that team, and then probably kind of get an idea of their profile and their characteristics. So just wondering how you actually get that information.
Yeah. That's a
Tell
very,
us a little bit about your secret sauce, basically, please.
Yeah.
No, just kidding. Just kidding. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think to be honest, the dark secret or for me is what I think is something not AI or the very dirty work. Especially what I found something very, very important in this space is called data or the insights, especially the clean data, right? So currently you have the crawler, and there are a lot of information that on the website that is legal to crawl. For example, you search for my name or Howie's name on Google, then it will show a lot of information related to me or Howie. For example, their LinkedIn and their Twitter, or maybe some podcasts we engaged before, or even the article information. These are all the information, but these are dirty information, right? Unstructured information. You need to make sure you digest the information and use it in a correct way. This is very important. So the first thing I found JobRite, I talk about a lot of machine learning or etc. But the first thing when I found JobRite, the first thing I work on is called distributed crawler. It's something not very sexy, but it's something fundamentally important to ourselves. Because you ask a lot of company post job posting, but different company post job things on their own career sites. So you need to make sure you develop some distributed crawling strategy or very smart crawler that is scalable to tens of thousands of young career site or ATS. So we only want to crawl the trustworthy job posting, not fake job postings that posted directly on their career site. And if you crawl it very well in a real way, you can deeply understand what the company is doing. And especially not only the career page, but the company has a lot of pages you need to advertise your company. For example, for Zheng, I believe you have a lot of page. For example, engineer blogs and also other page that introduce what team is hiring or etc. Even if you search Zheng LinkedIn on Google, there are a lot of posts on Google that share what your team is doing, which team is hiring, and some hiring manager even post on LinkedIn advertising their team is hiring. So these are also the dark secret or information that you can leverage, but this is not sexy information, not structured information. So you need to first crawl the information and crawl the long tail information and digest it into your own, I would say digital brain. Probably the large language model or other piece of model, such that you can really digest the information. That's the dark secret for our side.
That's very interesting. So, so for Neo browser, right? We have a Magic Box, the chat. Because it's powered by OpenAI, Gemini. In a way, that's it's a very good chat, right? Very smart, intelligent. But compared to ChatGPT, Perplexity, I think everyone's intelligence level is pretty much the same level, right? Some questions a little bit better or worse, but it's the same level. Where Neo is going is actually we wanted to answer some of the questions in the very authoritative way. The one example is, we're not quite there, but we're actually working on it. Hopefully, this is actually going to be real very soon. For instance, people would have wanted to know, hey, what is the high yield saving account kind of that I want, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that information, if you use Google, that information is everywhere, right? It's on the one hand, it looks like a low premium information because everyone has Google, everyone has that information. But on the other hand, if you think deeper about it, what we are going to provide by working with some of the, sort of just like you said, right, people who actually curate those data, then our information is a lot more comprehensive, a lot more fresh, a lot more validated. That information is very different from you otherwise would be able to Google yourself.
Yeah.
So I think there is similarity.
Yeah, totally agree. Yeah, I think model fundamentally everyone use the same model, right? Everyone use Anthropic, everyone use ChatGPT, and you can even fine-tune the model. The model set everyone used is the same, but what's important is how you can leverage the model well. And I totally agree with Howie that information or data is cheap. Everyone can search on Google. Even Google's API is very cheap. There are a lot of so many long tail information. But the thing is how you can leverage the model well such that you can bridge the information together and extract the gold mine from the cheap data by using the large language model or using other pieces, right? So this is we call maybe called data efficiency or etc. or called token efficiency, right? That this is not only useful in model training, but also more very useful in understanding questions by leveraging model and also leveraging information. That's what all other companies doing, Perplexity or etc. Even we are very doing. We are expert in the hiring space. And we have so many information, but we need to extract the gold mine from this kind of legal and but very cheap data. Yeah,
I
this is
think we should work together because I wanted to show people the Neo Chat is better than Perplexity, better than
yeah,
the ChatGPT because we have the job right information.
yeah.
Let me play devil's advocate for 1 second, and I think we have people in the chat room have more questions. Just close off this with the previous one. As a user coming to Neo Chat, integrating with your stuff, or just go to your website, jobright.com.ai directly. How am I going to have the confidence you have the right information? Like, yes, it's good for you to say that. How can I feel it, right?
Yeah, this is a very good question. Yeah, everyone there's a new AI product coming. So the very important thing is how to earn the user's trust, right? I think we are so for the user word to mouth thread, we are super good. We are growing very well. I think last month, if you take a look at public website like SimilarWeb, there are over 4 million unique user visits, even in the United States. That's a kind of huge number. Even some top players in this field do not have that high traffic, especially in the United States. So word to mouth thread is one which is super important to us. Most people come to JobRad because their friends refer JobRad to them. Yeah, that's first advantage. But for completely new user, I think there are a couple of things you can make in your product in a very correct way to make sure you are a trustworthy company. For example, how you will leverage the information, how you will crawl the information, step by step, you show something that the people want. This is very important to really catch them. Yeah, and to give them more before asking them. For
Give me
example,
an
yeah,
example. Can you give me an example? How do I feel it?
yeah. For example, I think we were doing some very interesting experiments before. So initially, I think we just put a chat window on our website to ask the user to chat or even to upload their resume. Mostly, they do not know how to chat with you. It's so open-minded. And you did not give everything and ask me to upload my resume. How do I trust you? So so what we do is that we guide the user step by step. First, once they register on the register page, we show a lot of user text users testimonials that specifically highlight job right. Especially these are public visible information on LinkedIn. These are not paid information. These are organic information. Once the user use JobRad, they want to really share it to let others know. This is very important to share the trusted users' real voices without paid information. And then the next step, when the user, I just ask what job title you want to search and what other piece of information you want to add. And after that, we show a complete deep research report and showing what's the demand for the role in this kind of area, and are there any other filter information you want to adjust, for example, adding more industries, adding more skills, or etc., and give them more and more trust before the last step. We will ask them to upload their resume. So step by step, you will show more trust to the user. And once they give the resume to you, and this is also reflected into product. As they use JobRed more, we give them more meaningful information, like give them more correct recommendations, right? We know what companies they are looking for and what roles they are specific, what skills they are specifically lacking compared to other maybe competitive candidates or etc. So step by step, we give you more information. This is we call context engineering. As you use our product more, we know more yourself, and we feed them in the large model or in the deep brain used by our internal. It can be large model, can be others, different component piece up together. We call context engineering, and we better understand you, and we optimize. We call the token efficiency, such that we show the more correctly how you do job seeking. And as time goes by, you will trust us more. So this is the way so we'll show to the user. Yeah, and once they trust us more, they will refer to their friends. So a lot of users come to us because of word of mouth spread. Yeah, this is a very interesting and very important question in our mindset of how we build products. Yeah. A lot of company call attention is all you need. For example, clearly made some very interesting, TikTok videos and have some boom. I think that's also another way how to build a company. But for our side, we value the more on the word to mouth spread. We want to make sure our product is fundamentally correct before doing a lot of excessive marketing or etc. Yeah.
Hi, Ethan. I have another question. Actually, I'm a user of JobRite. I find it's quite useful.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you so much. Yeah.
Maybe some questions here. So first, I just noticed actually there's like a different pro plan, like say weekly or quarterly or monthly plan.
Yeah.
Is that the major kind of is that your business model? Like so basically by charging like users those premium and like fees?
Yeah, this is a super good question. So initially we don't plan to charge the user that more, and nowadays we don't charge users that more because one of the free user join our platform, they can use the paid feature with a limited number of times. But we found that more and more users heavily use our platform. We are a company, and in the backside we also have the AWS and Google Cloud being built, and we also, use a lot of, very good models, Anthropic, OpenAI, or etc. So we have the cost. So a lot of users are very, very heavy users. So we need to set some reasonably paywall for them. But the paywall is definitely not very high. Definitely they can tailor a resume within limited number of times. They can autofill within limited number of times. But I think user revenue is definitely currently is the major revenue source, but eventually want to build a marketplace. In order for the job seeker to find the jobs, the most important thing is that they need to connect with the employers. That's a very important thing. So that's what we call marketplace. Initially, in the first 2.5 years, we prove the product market fit on the job seeker side. But in the long run, we don't definitely rely on the job seeker to make too much money. We want to make sure that they can use JobRed pretty well to find the jobs. So we need to connect the job seeker with the employers. That's the next step. I think starting from next month, we are developing some MVP version internally to really ask the employers, for example, to post some jobs or use some very advanced tools using JobRed to really connect with the job seekers. That's the ideal way. Yeah.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I also, because I use that, I found that say JobRite is asking me to say if I actually apply for certain jobs, so yes or no.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe down the road you would want kind of really connect that to the employers because you want to build the attribution logic. So you want to know from your side, you want to tie back who actually applied from the employer point. You also want to get
Yeah, totally agree. We want definitely connect loop. So the ultimate dream for the job right is definitely to boost the efficiency for the job right and for the job seeker and the employer side. Because we know that currently in the United States, the job seeking is not very efficient. On average, I think each company or each job seeker will spend I think around 4 months to really close the role. So this is kind of, a little bit absurd. Yeah, right. You just need almost half a year to close the role. So job seeker really is very tough for them. So we think there's a lot of space here. And also the current view of job seeking, we think that is definitely not very efficient. Especially with the AI coming, I think first we saw the distribution of roles are evolving. For example, some of the roles will come and some of the roles will diminish. The second is the way the employer will find talents and interview talents, which will, I think will change dramatically in the next couple of years. Especially they want some very reasonable way, for example, to view a candidate. Maybe not only your resume, but your multidimensional characteristics, multidimensional resume, as well as for the interview, right? A lot of companies still are doing lead code, but lead code is just some decent, very, old school format exam. And definitely each company want more characteristic of the candidate leveraging the AI, because AI is so much leverage. So I think it will fundamentally change, in a way how the employer will connect with the candidates. That's the area I think JobRite has a very high potential in it. Yeah.
So your intended, as based on what you just said, my interpretation of your business model or the direction you are going is closer to LinkedIn, where there are a lot of the users, right? Sure, LinkedIn charge some users with some subscription, right, premium, but vast majority of the user use LinkedIn for free. And then there's some revenue from the user as a premium user, but that's not going to be the vast majority of the business income. The business income will be more LinkedIn working with a variety of the many employers, right? So that's also a kind of a marketplace for job seekers as well as people posting the jobs. That sounds like what I'm hearing from you. And then it sounds like you wanted to not necessarily do LinkedIn kind of the things, but from business wise, you wanted to disrupt the LinkedIn, right?
Yeah, I think LinkedIn fundamentally is a professional social network. It's really a professional social network. What LinkedIn optimize, I think, the feed quality to make sure that everyone want to go to LinkedIn. And because the professional social network is so powerful, then it can earn a revenue in a lot of places. Job seeking is only part of them. Currently, there are so many to-B business that will seek for the leads on LinkedIn. For example, if I start a to-B business, I want to sell my product to some other companies, and then I need to also go to LinkedIn. So for the LinkedIn, the fundamental thing is not job seeking, it's maintain the trustfulness of its professional social network, especially the feed quality. Right. For example, Howie, you are very active on LinkedIn. You don't want to see your feed is flooded with who is hiring and who is job seeking, right? Then your retention will be very low. You would see other company share some deep insight, other companies launching some new product. And other founders share their own stories. This is more engaging, feed quality. I think the fundamental LinkedIn model is try to make sure the cohesiveness and activeness of professional social network. Definitely it will take care of the job seeking, but only take care not in a major way. But we are solely on the job seeking. Our primary goal is definitely the efficiency to make sure a candidate got hired by a company. For example, to reduce the average hiring time from 4 months maybe to within 1 month significantly. Yeah, we believe that's the only goal for us, which a bit differentiated from LinkedIn. Yeah, LinkedIn has their own moat. The moat is social network. It's very powerful, but we are pretty much on the job seeking side. Yeah.
Sorry for just
Yeah.
So following up here, so if your goal is trying to be more efficient for the employers, how does JobRite actually achieve that? Because from purely a user perspective, it's just another website. I can just find, say, jobs. I can it's in terms of use, it's very similar to LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So how does actually, I just try to connect the two dots. When you say trying to be more efficient for the employers,
Yeah, that's a super good question. Yeah, I think I can answer you like this. For example, if you post a job on LinkedIn within 1 day, probably you get 1,000, 2,000 candidates easily if you even give LinkedIn more money to promote your job post. But most of the candidates are not qualified candidates. There are so maybe some very, very active job seekers on LinkedIn because LinkedIn do not strict heavily on their recommendation system. They are essentially a search engine. You can search anything, right? But we are kind of different. So we are kind of internally, it's a really recommendation system. It's LLM based. So we know what's the company's requirement, and we know what your real resume is, and we do the deep match between the candidate and the company. So the goal inside is not to optimize the candidate quantity to application quantity. We do not optimize that much, but we optimize qualified candidates that apply to each jobs. This is so important because you optimize the efficiency. That is, you optimize on average how many roles or what's the probability of roles get converted being the applicants. So we do not really optimize the application quantity, but we optimize the efficiency. We make sure the recommendation is doing the right way. So the job seeker, when they want to apply the job, in the 10 jobs they saw the roles being published to them, we make sure that they are decent qualified candidates. We give them a match score, which is kind of integration of different factors. For example, skill, qualification, and your experience. We make sure that we recommend in a correct way, such that we boost the efficiency between the job seeker and the employer. Yeah.
Um,
Let's see what other questions from the chat room, Axel.
Yeah, so we also have someone wondering what the funding situation was like when you had first started JobRight and perhaps what it's like now.
Yeah, I think this is very interesting. So when we start the area, essentially no one believed that we can be successful. At this stage, I think we have been doing 2.5 years. Initially, I also don't think we can have so many job seekers coming, especially, we have more than 1 million, white collar job seekers joining our platform and use it pretty well, especially in the United States. So because the market had been there for a couple of years, I think more than 20 years, and no one really stand out that big in the last 5 to 10 years. This is essentially the truth. I would say this is a cheap market, but in order to build some advanced tool to really solve your problem, you need to do step by step because job seeking is a low frequency but high value thing. And different job seeker, they are very nervous and they need to find a trusted partner they can use your tool. So initially, we are also very struggle. We built some MVP initially, but we don't have that many users. Initially, I think our DAU is single digit, really less than 10 users. Yeah, it's really very hard. But the good thing is that we keep our heads down. We value the user as our highest priority. Me and my co-founders schedule user calls regularly. I think each week we schedule more than 30 user calls initially. And even for now, we will schedule user calls. My co-founder last week take more than 20 user calls. Yeah, so because we are also releasing some new products, and every day we also hear from what the pain points of users. So currently, our user feature is not developed by us. It's developed by or it's contributed by our users because our user pool is so big, and based on some conversation with them, we are a small team and we know what the highest priority for us to optimize for. And initially, we did not pay ourselves even. Yeah, currently we also pay ourselves in a very minimal way. And initial fundraising is not easy. But as our time goes by, I think more and more investors trust us and to acquire users in a right way. Because we don't spend heavily to acquire users, most of our users are going in the word-to-mouth thread. This is super important, and that's the way how we doing. And currently, I think we just closed a new fundraising, and up to now we raised around 8 million funds. Yeah, so we will still keep our team small to make sure that because AI, with the leverage of AI tool, you can do more powerful things. Instead of hiring more engineers, we do want our internal team is build more stronger and have more leverage with the AI. We also have some internal session to teach them how to use the AI. Most of engineers currently, all the engineers currently use the AI tool, and most of them use Cursor or other more advanced tools to facilitate their internal development. I think this is very important. As AI evolves, you also need to boost your team's efficiency to better understand the user feedbacks and better understand better accelerate the internal development. Yeah.
We also have someone who was wondering what your favorite evaluation metric was when you're matching the person seeking a job and then the employer. Is there particular factors or
Yeah, that's a super good question. I would say the internally what the metric we value the most is the retention. You might see that okay, once the job seeker find a job, they will more easier to churn, right? But we value the efficiency, especially in the first month, especially in the first week, the second week, third week, and fourth week. This is so important because currently job seeker is very nervous and they feel a high pressure in the current competitive job seeking market. And every day they are recommended quite a few tools. And especially the day one retention is so important for you. Once the job seeker use tool, will they come back on the second day? This is so important for us. Yeah, this is kind of value our metric internally. But the second metric, as I mentioned, we value the user happiness. We have some internal tool because we actively seeking user feedback. I personally will take hundreds of user feedbacks inside our Slack channel. We post all the user feedback inside secret Slack channel, and I personally review it. A lot of bugs and also features are come from the user feedbacks, especially they can raise it in product, raise in our community, send through our support emails, or etc. And also we actively schedule user calls with the user. It's still a kind of tradition, day one until now. And for now, we still think we are still day one. We only prove some kind of product market fit from the only job seeker side, but I think this is also limited. The job seeker need to connect with the employers. So we still did not find the PMF at the job marketplace. So it's still day one for us. So we need to also heads down to listen carefully with the job seekers, and there is still a very long way to go, I would say. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, and if anyone else has any questions, feel free to speak up or throw them in the chat.
Sorry again, one more question. So I just found actually from the Prime, so there are more tools, interview winning tools and live career coaching. Wondering how is that actually scalable? Is that like really your team has to really like sitting side by side with live coaching, or is that actually scalable? Or maybe I interpret incorrect.
Yeah, that's a very good question. So internally, we have a small team of career coaches. We want to make sure we get job seeker in correct way. The request is definitely from a lot of job seekers because they subscribe to our premium model. They want to make sure that they hear also not only use the tool, but also be more human. Hear some advice from the real human beings, especially the career coaches. They will share the trend, they will share the dark secret, they will share a lot of deep resources. So we have a very small group of very experienced, career coaches who is also the recruiter or the headhunter for a lot of big companies and medium, small companies. And they will have some education training session. The group session based, I think, weekly or even we are currently doing it even every twice per week because there are so many. So we have so many subscribers. So even once per week is not enough for them. So as our number of job seekers subscribing to our premium increase dramatically. We also think of better ways also to how to make sure that we develop a sustainable system or sustainable, career session framework to make sure that we'll really serve their needs or better help them with their job seeking. Yeah, but that's a very good question. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
With that, I think really just happy to have you today. And
Yeah.
everyone on this call, if you have any last minute questions, do throw them in. And of course, next week we'll be meeting again. So
Yeah.
for different talks.
Cindy is our new person in your community. Do you have anything just in case?
Yeah, I had a question. So I'm someone who just graduated from university. I
Oh.
was wondering, how do you see AI shaping the hiring process for like new grads compared to more experienced candidates?
Yeah, this is very, very super good question. I would say the new candidates currently, because 2 years ago, I remember when ChatGPT.com and Howie invited me to do a kind of podcast. On that podcast, I just shared even 2 years ago, I think everyone should adopt AI. Yeah, if you do not adopt AI, you are behind. Yeah, you are really seriously behind because AI is so powerful leverage. I think new grad should take the advantage because I was a PhD before. I was amazed by the AI. So if AI occurred in my PhD life, I should graduate very early. I spent a couple of hours reading the PhD papers. My area is data mining database. There are around 12 more pages for the long papers, and I need to read line by line. So there is no easy way at that stage. But currently, you are the new grads, so you are more, embracing the advance of AI compared with me, the old guy, right? Yeah. So I think you have full leverage. So you just need to embrace the AI and apply the AI every day in your life in terms of communicating with others, in terms of processing a lot of things, or replying to emails, or maybe guide you what will be the next thing to do because AI is so powerful. Everyone, I think AI is kind of free because everyone can use ChatGPT Anthropic model, but this is in terms of how you will use this leverage quite well. This is so important. Yeah, I think I really admire you to be born in such kind of AI booming space, especially for the new grads. I know it's currently is tough for the new grad, but I see a lot of potential in the future because the world will be changed by you. Yeah, that's the thing. I truly trust, and the world will be changed a lot faster by you because AI is so powerful on leverage. Currently, even a company, even a one-person company can win 10 million or even 100 million uh, revenue. That's so powerful. Just embrace the AI and try to currently, the world is so high frequency, especially the TikTok and AI news, but you just need to, heads down and try to learn the AI tools and think deeply how they will change your life or make it more productivity on your side. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I definitely think that AI is such a powerful tool. And I think that, more people my age are adapting and have to adapt really quickly to be able to keep up with everything that's happening in the world. So
Yeah,
thank
yeah,
you
yeah.
for that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Howie, anything to say?
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah. Yeah, please.
do you have any closing, wisdom for us?
Yeah, definitely. I think thank you so much for Howie for the invitation. A lot of speakers here, Axel, Sydney, and Jianyuan. You raised a lot of very good questions, and also I think I also really admire that you develop some new, which is really I think the next generation is coming, especially for the browser this kind of side. I also expect to use some browser in some day, and I also see that new is developing in the right way, especially the two factors how you mentioned, I think super important. First is AI native, the second is privacy. Currently a lot of companies called AI agent companies, they have a so advanced browser using tools, but that's very risky, right? They allow you to log in and you don't know where your credential is being used to some other places. It's so risky. They read your email and they can even send the email for you. Google gave them permission, but you do not know how your email is being used. I really appreciate the way that you do the innovation, but at the same time, you consider the user privacy in the first place. I do think there's a lot of potential for the new to come, and also, yeah, just put me in a wait list for your next iterations. Yeah, I'm more excited.
Well, you are welcome to join our beta even.
Yeah, yeah,
And everything you said, Sydney is going to quote you for, I mean, seriously, right? It's a general browser is a means to an end, but the end is actually have the peace of mind, have, productivity, not just do some fancy stuff. So
yeah.
we're very much aligned. So good that you are helping us to spell out that kind of the message to users. So with that, I think it comes to the end, the wisdom, I heard from you, in the entire segment is, hey, AI era is coming, right? Even for new college grad, this is a good time. Sam Altman, actually, OpenAI CEO, Sam Altman said a couple of weeks ago, he said, this is the best time for a 22-year-old college graduate. And I have to agree with him on this. I don't agree with him on anything and everything, but for this one, I'm 100% in agree with him. So the wisdom, you brought to the table is all in AI, all in job right when it comes to seeking job, and all in Neo, because Neo is going to give you a totally different experience with safety, with privacy. And hopefully, we'll talk after this one, maybe even do some integration so that the magic box is going to give you the best job seeking related information, for in the chat as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I'm looking forward. Really very excited. Yeah.
Okay, everyone, you have a nice weekend. This is the end of our another extremely nice news show. Axel, are we done?
Yep, we're all done. Everyone have a wonderful day.
Okay, thank
Bye.
you.
Okay.
We can
Bye.